When we think about Resident Evil, we think single-player, story-driven game. Yes, they have dabbled in multiplayer before, but you wouldn't class Resident Evil as a multiplayer game. That being said, you've not always been truly alone. So in this video, I want to know what your favourite way to play Resident Evil is. We could look at it from a perspective angle. We've had eras of gameplay style. The fixed camera tank control, then the third person over the shoulder, before finishing up in first person. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is partners. And with the exception of a few games, we've always had a partner, in some form. But they also haven't acted the same way either. Our first pairing is Rebecca and Billy in Resident Evil 0.
It's gonna be dangerous from here on in. Why don't we cooperate?
Cooperate with you?
Listen, little girl, if you haven't noticed, there's some pretty freaked out things on this train. And I, for one, want to get out of here. I don't think we stand a chance doing it alone.
You expect me to trust you, a wanted felon? I don't need your help. I can handle this on my own.
You took control of both characters. They could separate and go different areas of the building, or they could follow you around with a simple command. In fact, doing so would give you double carrying capacity, could also swap items between characters and make them back you up in a firefight, or just stand there and watch you get torn to shreds, as you would. Having them attack means you also need to manage their ammo supply. Auto aim and a follow command is all their AI is capable of. If they block you in some way, then they won't automatically move out of the way. Thankfully, you can just switch characters on the fly and just move the partner AI with the right stick. For me, I did enjoy this type of cooperation. With the characters and their strengths and their weaknesses, some puzzle required them to work together to resolve them. Billy and Rebecca have great chemistry, and although they don't really trust each other at the beginning, working together you can see they build a deep respect for each other by the end. But that's not without its downsides. Having to manage two characters instead of just one, yes, the extra carry capacity is helpful, but making sure each character has enough ammo and access to first aid means that you're in and out of menus more than it feels necessary. Unable to solve a puzzle because you need characters present, or one character is carrying an item that you need and you've left the other one on the other side of the map, can get tedious. Yet overall, I do find this partner system to be quite good. It gives you full control, yet makes you feel like you're not alone. Next up is Resident Evil 1. I'm going to be looking at the Jill and Barry's campaign, mainly because it's the only one that fits the narrative. Chris and Rebecca don't really work in the same way, and allow me to explain.
Now Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Now, before you stop flaming me in the comments and telling me that Resident Evil 1 isn't a partner game, and you do play as single player, in a sense, yes, you're right, but also wrong. See, Barry is Jill's partner throughout the game, and he does show up at pivotal moments, sometimes to help you out in a firefight, sometimes to help you solve a puzzle. And although he doesn't wander around with you like Billy does, he still gets that sense of feeling that he's got your back.
Is that you, Jill? What happened?
Barry? Help me, please! The door won't open!
Stay away from the door, Jill. I'm gonna kick this door down. Hurry! This way!
Unlike Billy and Rebecca, you'll be playing just as Jill, so no switching about or micromanaging two lots of health. Yet Barry is an amazing partner to have. Granted, his appearances are scripted, but the amount of times I was thankful he turned up. First time you don't get to use that broken shotgun, you get trapped in that room, or when you find yourself running out of ammo, he leaves a little gift, and same with turning up to help with Lisa. I admit it does seem a little strange that you've entered a creepy mansion and your teammates have disappeared, you need help to kill what she describes as a monster, only for Barry to say,
Barry!
What is it?
Look out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of it! We can search for him separately. I'll investigate the dining room again.
Okay then, I'll try the door on the other side.
I mean, they are trained police officers. In fact, they're better than trained police officers because they're the best of the best. Hence, they're in the STARS unit. But even if you'd expect them to be a little bit more like Rebecca and Billy, sticking together, working things out together, they don't have radios like Claire and Leon did.
But before I forget, here's a radio. That way we can keep in touch if something comes up.
And Barry only had this saying, let's meet up here if anything happens.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall.
Well, what if something did happen? Like what happened to Bravo team? They're not going to make it back to that room. And how is Barry going to even know that you need help? Nevertheless, you as a player do build this really strong bond with Barry. Hell, I've even made a complete channel based around one of his catchphrases.
I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
The twist at the end does come a bit of as a shock, and it does hurt a little because of the bond that you've built up, and the trust that you have with him being your partner. It's a very different style from Resident Evil 0, and I must admit, I do like it. The only downside really is that it's scripted. You can't contact Barry to help you out. Unlike Resident Evil 0, where you could just give Billy the shotgun and a bunch of ammo and you know his shot's always going to land on target. If you're running a bit short on pistol ammo, I might just hide behind him while he takes everything out for you. That's two different types of partnership. In regards to Chris and Rebecca, Rebecca isn't as seasoned as Barry, and so she doesn't really help out with the fighting. It is more just scripted puzzle solving for her. So that's why I've not really counted her in this analysis. So next we're going to be looking at Resident Evil 5 and 6 because these two games had a very similar style, and because the partners work similar to Resident Evil 0, they stuck by your side at all times.
Intel says it's a haven for terrorists now.
And I'm not going to be happy to see an American, BSAA or not. That's why I'm your partner.
They'll shoot and take down enemies for you, and at this time they'll actually heal you as well. The partner system works more like an extra gun. Unlike 0, where you can't switch between them on the fly or move them off in different directions, and Gone 2 is the partner puzzle solutions. These were replaced with doors that you just move to the next area, but you need both characters there to open it. What did open it up to though was multiplayer, and you and a friend could go through the story together, turning a single player into a cooperative event. And I must admit this is a lot of fun, especially having an actual partner there, someone you're sitting next to or chatting with over Discord, and going through the main story together. By Resident Evil 5 and 6, the gameplay had completely changed from that of 0 and Resident Evil 1. The explorable mansions had turned into corridors of enemies just moving from one point to another, requiring you to just kill everything in the way. And so you don't really have to go exploring. Therefore, as your partner doesn't leave your side, it doesn't open up the opportunity to have more story beats and cutscenes pushing the narrative forward.
You know, I thought dear old Dad was just a deadbeat who skipped out on us. No, he was actually a freaking nut job who almost destroyed the world.
Where Resident Evil 1 to 3, the story was kind of left to the player to uncover in the environment or via files and notes and little bits here and there that you can pick up and piece together. Resident Evil 4 onwards kind of told you the story, and as the games move forward more into a more interactive movie style. Originally you could only meet up with your partner and these so-called moments were now limited, and to give more of a story beat to it and just to help move it forward. But Capcom have done a brilliant job at reinventing Resident Evil, and it's moved with the times, going from fixed camera angles to third person, first person to each time. They've always reinvented the partner system. My personal favourite is the original. I love the feeling that you're part of a team and you're doing your own investigation.
Jill.
Barry, I didn't mean to get you that excited.
Right. Anyway, you should read this.
But meeting up to share resources and equipment and knowledge. So what's your favourite? Let me know down in the comments, and to see my favourite game in the franchise, then you need to be watching the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you survivors next time. Nevertheless, as a player you do actually as